Greetings from Washington, D.C. I hope that as I share my greetings that everyone, their families are doing well. I have the honor, as I always feel honored when asked to participate in something for Soil Health Institute, to serve a little bit as the amuse bouche. You had a lot of great content from Wayne and Jason and Jay, and then I will introduce another series of dynamic talks around the measurements and all the exciting work that Soil Health Institute has been doing thus far. But as this bridge, I'm happy to share with a lot of new faces to our Soil Health Institute community a little bit more about who we are as a foundation at the Foundation for Food and Agriculture Research, what we do in the soil health space, and also those spaces that we're excited, interested, and we have prioritized. So in thinking about who we are as an organization, the Foundation for Food and Agriculture Research, we're connectors. We look for opportunities to connect funders, researchers, and farmers, and we really want to focus on innovation. We do that through accomplishing our vision, where we hope to envision a world where collaborative science and ever uh, can provide access to affordable and nutritious and thriving farms. Our mission, again, we look at how we can build these partnerships. We think about ways to collaborate and connect, and so that we could support innovative science to address our challenges. And you've heard a number of those challenges in the conversations hosted prior to me through Jay and Wayne and Jason. We hope to accomplish our values and our missions by being audacious, by being collaborative, by having rigor, passion, and agility. And I think that Soil Health Institute definitely encapsulates a number of our values, and that we've partnered with them on a number of projects, and we see some of the same excitement value, especially around collaboration, audaciousness, that passion, that agility, all of those things I think you'll see reflected in all of the research that you'll hear here today. We recognize at FAR that without this research and the collaboration that results from that, we won't be able to help farms adapt. And that's a lot of what I've heard so far, is this need for adaptation, a need for resilience, a need to support farmers and support the food system. And how can we, through funding research and through partnerships, ensure that farmers can meet those needs and ensure the entire food system can continue to thrive. Um, we aren't just focused on soil health. We look at innovative solutions around water use, crop yields, pests and pathogens. So again, a number of the same challenges that you've heard today. We also look at addressing livestock diseases, how we can ensure access to nutritious foods, promote healthy practices and reducing food waste, and engaging our local communities. So while we will focus primarily on soil health, there are 5 other challenge areas that FAR identifies, and we tend to fund in those strategic priority spaces. That is next generation crops, advanced animal systems, sustainable water management, health agriculture nexus, and urban food systems. And if there's any interest following this presentation in any of the other topic areas, please feel free to reach out. My information will be shared at the end, and I can connect you to the appropriate scientific program director for those challenge areas. But I'll be focusing a bit more in depth on soil health challenge areas. That's the portfolio that I manage. Currently, we have 4 focus areas in our soil health challenge area, and you'll hear a lot of similar, I think great minds think alike. And so you'll hear we're very much interested in resiliency and adaptation. We want to look at ways to address scalability through our site specific decision making. We are very much focused on well-being, which looks at socioeconomic, economic, as well as physical health, and then novel pathways to adoption. So how can we look at additional strategies that can address adoption of soil health practices? So you can see why the Soil Health Institute is such a pivotal partner for FAR. So I'll spend my last couple of minutes sharing the future direction of FAR's soil health program. So 2 areas that I'll focus on that I know that we've spent quite a bit of time and energy around would be in data of value, or the way that FAR views the work that we would like to fund in the data space, and then in adoption of climate smart practices. So we have this concept of data of value, and we basically, our executive director, we often will say that all the data in the world doesn't matter if we don't know what it means. And so it's moving beyond identifying is there a space in big data, but also what about smaller data sets that contain really unique information? How do we capture that? Some other spaces that we are interested in and we've prioritized are data ownership, thinking about who really owns the data and how can we provide that and how can we address the concerns around data privacy. As we move forward and collect more information, we need improved models, we need improved data, but how do we ensure that farmers feel secure in sharing that information? And then how can we provide that information in a way such that we can improve the research that we conduct that feeds into the site-specific recommendations that are provided? Right now, FAR is looking at addressing some of the lack of cohesion and standard rules in ag data privacy. We're thinking about ways in which farmers spend tremendous time uploading and sharing data. So how can we address some of those things? We funded some projects in those spaces. We want to continue to understand the full extent of this issue. We want to look at ways in which we can partner and collaborate to increase consistent standards. So we funded some projects that address that. We had an event at the Tri-Societies meeting in 2019 around data privacy. And then in September, which is this meeting, which was attended by about approximately 25 participants. And these were some of the insights shared. And the high level is that we need to create value for farmers. That was what was top of mind, and that this is just an issue that is being grappled with a number of additional stakeholders. So to that end, it's September 24th and 25th, we will have another convening that will allow conversations that deal with small to big data, to open to private access, and just try to identify if there are some spaces where additional research funding will alleviate or accelerate some of the advances in these spaces. So if there's anyone that's interested in receiving a link to this meeting, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to have additional registrants, and registration is open. The last thing that I will leave you with is the work that we would like to do in climate right now. And you'll hear some talks in this session that would discuss or would lend itself to discussions around carbon sequestration, and a lot of the conversations that you heard from Wayne around the importance and the impact that we can have in the climate space as agriculture. FAR views that we could have through climate smart solutions an audacious goal of reaching net negative for greenhouse emissions by the year 2030. And the way that we could do that is by mobilizing scientists and farmers in an effort to unlock the climate smart potential in our farmlands. We've partnered with the World Farming Organization and U.S. Farmers and Ranchers Alliance. And this is an overview of what we hope to do, which is convening stakeholders, identifying those data resources that would need to be coordinated, synthesize that data, and then develop some sort of toolkit or playbook. We're actively planning, looking for advisors, looking for additional partners in these spaces. And you'll see probably through a number of the additional talks that other folks are having some of the same conversations, which is really exciting. I think the thing I will leave you with is that we recognize that our world is changing. I think now more than ever, we're recognizing that that there's always flux, that there are always extremes, and that the ag system is one of the most productive in the world. But how can we and what can we do through research and science to alleviate those shifts and to allow for more resilience? I think that was one of the things I heard earlier that really resonated with me, was this conversation or these statements around how to be more resilient and how to ensure that farmers and ranchers are supported and that they are provided the resources needed to handle all of these challenges that none of us can control. And I feel that we can achieve this progress by working together. So I hope that you appreciated the short synopsis of our organization. If there's any additional information that you would like, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. But